Hello everyone, this is Rainer Heckmann from Aquafadas, and we welcome you to another webinar about our digital publishing solution. Today we will present you how to use the AVE AppFactory. For those of you that are new to our webinars, here is how it works. We keep everybody muted to avoid background noise and to provide for clear audio for everyone. Our presenter today is Manuel, and he will in a second share his screen and then go through a demo of AVE AppFactory and also a little bit how it works together with avepublishing.com, our publisher portal. This will take about 30 to 40 minutes, and then after that we are open to questions. If you have a question, then please type it into GoToWebinar in the control panel into the questions panel, and we will read the question aloud so everybody can hear and understand what the question is, and then we'll try to answer as many as possible in the 1 hour we have reserved for this webinar today. Okay, so Manuel, please take it from here.
Hi Rainer, hi everyone. I'm Manuel Broussard. I'm the manager of the support manager at aquafadas.com, and today I'll be presenting what you need to create an app, and I will guide you through the requirements of the needed by AVE AppFactory and what you need to get from Apple developer. So I'm going to start to show you Xcode. You know that to publish an application on Apple Store, you need to get an Apple developer account and install Xcode, which is the development platform for iOS and also for Mac applications. When you want to create an iOS application, you need first to go to the Apple portal and to the appledeveloper.com and to create a certificate, a developer certificate, and install it on your computer. It shows here on Xcode. When you install Xcode, you have this window. This is the organizer. You can open it through this menu, the window menu. And here, the first thing you have to do when you start a developer account and you want to create apps is to install a certification that you are a developer and that you are developing on your computer. So here I have installed it, and you can also see it in Keychain here. This is my developer account for Aquafadas. The second thing that you have to do is to declare a test device. If you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can register it on the Apple developer website and as a test device. And the third thing you have to do is to create an app ID. App IDs will identify an app with a unique identifier. But you can also create what we call how is it called in French? It's a generic app ID. What we call generic app ID is this idea with the little star in the end. It's for example, here I have created an app ID which is com.aquafadas.star, and which means I can put whatever I want in place of the star. I can replace the star by whatever app ID I want. So I can test several apps with this app ID. And that's only for testing purposes. When you will put your app on distribution, you will need another app ID. And the fourth step is to create what they call a provisioning profile. And this is what I'm showing here. That's my Aquafada's app generic profile that I installed on Xcode. And these steps are all detailed on the Apple developer website. There are tutorials and videos there that you can. They're very, very well made, and I just advise you to take some time, and after you create your account, take some time to read all the how-tos that Apple made, and you will understand everything. Here I'm just saying that this is what is required to do what I'm going to do here today. So I'm going to go to the AVE publishing portal and make it quick so I can show you. So first, in AVE publishing portal, you have to create a title. By title, we mean it's a generic term for a collection of books, of comic books, for example, or it can be a magazine. That's the type of the title. And then you can enter several information that are mostly metadata and will only be displayed on our website. This is just for you to manage your multiple titles and the publications that are in it. That's the first step. Then the second step is to create an application. Here I've created an application that's called AVE Help, where I'm going to put all the AVE publishing brochures, all the help documents that Aquafada has made. And then you can create your publications. Here you have created 3 publications. Two are AV brochures that you can find on our website, and the last one is just an example of a publication of a travel guide from Matthew. So that's what I'm just going fast here because that's not really what I want to show. Just I'm going back to the applications, and I can see here that I have my product, and the product it is what makes the link between the publications here and the application here. So here I have a product. The title is AV Getting Started, which is my title here that I've made. So this application here, it will contain all the publication of my title. So I have downloaded this certificate here on my desktop, and I will go now to AVE AppFactory, and I will start a new project. And here you can see that I have the choice between 3 templates. The first one is a bookstore. It's more like you have a library. It looks like my kiosk, but with a little more features. Then the kiosk, the simple kiosk, is more oriented to magazines, and it has a feature of in-app purchase and everything you need. And the Zap Reader is just a simple app with a unique publication that you can embed in the app. So here I'm going to create a bookstore, and I'm going to drag and drop my certificate that I have downloaded from the AVE Publishing website here. So here you can see that all the information that I have entered on the website is replicated on AVE AppFactory. I will just make a particular focus on the bundle ID, which is the same as the application ID. That's Apple names the same identifier two different ways, the application ID and the bundle ID. You can see that, oops, I've made a simulator export, so that's okay. That was the next step actually, but I'm going to come back here. So the application ID here, you can see that I have entered com.aquafadas.avhelp. This .avhelp, I can use it because on my provisioning profile here, I have com.aquafadas.star, and I've replaced the star by AVhelp. So I will be able to test this application that has this ID on my computer and on my iPad, because I have an ID, a bundle ID that corresponds to my provisioning profile. This is very important, because if you don't have an application ID that doesn't correspond to a provisioning profile, you won't be able to test your application on your iPad. So first I have made a simulator export. As you have seen here, I have installed the iOS simulator. We'll put it on big screen, yes. And here you can see that I have my bookstore with my 3 publications. I just have to click on it, download it, and there it is. This is only a quick example of an AV PDF document. So now, this is just another try to see how here all the publications are free, so I don't have a price here. Just to see that the simulator just simulates a purchase here. Yeah, that's free, and just simulating a purchase, and then I can download the document. And of course you have the preview. That's a preview you have entered. I have entered on avpublishing.com. Here, when I publish, for example, here you have all the forms to publish the thumbnail and the preview that are shown on here. That's the thumbnail, and here that's my preview. So now what I'm going to do is to export to my device, to my iPad. So here, when I click on export to device, I have this little window, and you can see here in configuration, release or distribution. What is the difference? The difference is that release is just for testing purposes, and distribution is that's the final app you want to put on the App Store, and that you will have to upload with on iTunes Connect, which is the tool, the Apple tool that manages your products, your applications on the iOS store. So here I have my release configuration, and it has my profile that is the same here on Xcode. That's the profile I have installed, and of course my developer certificate. So if you haven't installed all these Apple developer required things, you won't be able to export to your iPad. And so here we go. I'm going to make a test app number 2 and save it on my desktop. So here it has created a folder, and after the generation, I open that folder and it contains a .ipa file. That's your application. You will have to put it on your iPad. How to put it on an iPad? You need an utility that is called iPhone configuration utility, and that utility you can find it on Apple website. You just search for it. It's called iPhone configuration utility, and you will find it. It's free and it's very easy to use. So this utility allows you to manage application and devices. You can see here that I have already a com.aquafaradas.av app that was from the latest webinar I've made in French. So I'm just going to reuse. If I want to put the one I've just created here, you just have to drag and drop your .ipa in your application and it will show. But since it is the same here, I won't put another one. And you have the connected iPad, the iPad that is actually connected to my computer, and you can access all the installed or uninstalled applications. So here I have to search for my great bookstore that is uninstalled, and I need to install it. It takes some time. And yes, now it's installed. So here I'm going to show you just so that's my bookstore, and it's loaded. That's the same as almost the same as the simulator, but the main difference is you have to test an application on an iPad, because if you have publicated some big let's say some big publications that are more than 100 pages with a lot of photos, and you will want to test it on an iPad because the iPad doesn't have the same resources, the same memory that that the simulator has, because the simulator, it has the memory of your computer, and the iPad is very limited on memory. For example, the iPad 1, I think it's 256 megabytes of memory, so it's very short. So you have to test your application on iPad, and this is how you do. So I'm just going to sum up what I've shown here. First, let me come back to Xcode. Remember that you need an Apple developer account, you need to create a certificate, install it on Xcode, install it on your keychain, it will appear automatically on Xcode. Then you have to create an app ID and to create a provisioning profile. That is all explained. I say it again, it's all explained on the Apple developer website. So take the time to read all the tutorials, the Apple tutorials about these certificates and provisioning profiles. Then you can go to avepublishing.com, create titles, create application, publish, and finally go to your applications and create products that makes the link between the publications and the applications. Then you just have to download the certificate. Here, go to AVE AppFactory, create a new project, create a new project, choose the template you want, and then test it on the simulator, and if it works, test it on your device. To test on your device, of course, you need to have the certificate, the provisioning profile, and you will see that AVE AppFactory automatically detects your profile and your certificate. And that's it. It looks simple, but in reality, it is not so simple. Here, it just looks simple because I make it fast and because I'm used to it. But you need to take time to learn about this profile certificate, and it will be okay. It will be easy once you do it 1 or 2 times. So I think that's it. That was my demo of today. I don't know if...
And we are looking forward to seeing you soon in our future web seminars. Thanks again, everybody, and goodbye for now.
Thank you. Goodbye.